Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're gonna do story reading of this book, Railway Children. It's pretty exciting book. It kind of talks about how a family got separated and how eventually they all got united because of the lovely actions of these three lovely children. Okay? I hope you're excited. So let me set it up and we get started in doing the story reading. Pa-pa-da-pa-pa-pa. All right, here we go. All right, hope you guys are gonna enjoy the story. And let's get started. Name of the story is Railway Children. It's kind of exciting to see and interesting why their name is Railway Children. Okay. Roberta, Peter, and Phyllis were the happiest children. Their father worked in the Foreign Office while their mother often wrote small, amusing stories for her kids. Together, the family spent many cherished hours. One evening, two men came to meet their father. They went inside the study with their father. It was a long time before their father and the two men came out, and father went along with them. Father has to go away for a long time, children, mother told them. But she would not tell them where the father was going. However, Roberta, the eldest amongst the kids, understood that something was wrong, but she kept quiet. For the next few days, mother went out every morning and returned in the evening, looking sad and tired. Can we help you, mother? Asked the children one evening. No, my dears, everything is fine, said the mother. I have some things to take care of as father isn't here. Then one morning the mother said, we are moving to the countryside. The children considered moving to the countryside as an adventure. Little did they know that they would be leaving their riches behind. Soon, an old cottage called Three Chimneys became their new home. They had no servants now, and the children helped their mother in the household chores. The old cottage was soon transformed into the loveliest cottage. How delighted the children were here, away from the worries that troubled their mother. They no longer had to go to school, but the mother continued with their lessons at home. The mother also began to write stories, and when these were printed, it was time to eat buns. One morning, while watering the plants in the garden, suddenly Peter said, Look, railway! Let us go there and see. The children dashed towards the railway. What a thrill it was to see the railway so close. As they returned to the cottage, Phyllis suggested, Let us wave to the trains and send our love to father. How they missed their father. Roberta and Peter readily agreed, and it became a habit to wave to the 9:15 train each day. As the children waved to the train, they cried, Take our love to father! Day after day, the children waved to the train and sent their love to their father. One day, as they waved, an old hand holding a newspaper waved back. The hand belonged to an old gentleman. It thus became a routine to exchange waves. By this time, the station master and the porter Perks too had become familiar with the children. One morning, Roberta, Peter, and Phyllis decided to collect wild cherries that grow along the railway line. While gathering cherries, Peter saw something unusual. Look, that tree across the line is moving, he said. Indeed, not just the one tree, but every bush and tree around it was moving fast towards the railway line. It was a landslide. Has the 11:29 train passed? Asked Peter. I am not sure, said Phyllis, who was fascinated by the movement of the trees. We must do something to warn the train running towards this landslide, said Roberta. We need something red, said Peter thoughtfully. Over red flannel petticoats, Phyllis said suddenly. Quickly, Roberta and Phyllis took off their red flannel petticoats. Then Peter took them and tore them into 2 pieces each. Wave these red pieces of cloth like crazy to signal the train to stop, said Peter seriously. They would not be able to see the landslide as the train will turn the corner, but they must see us, Peter added. It is only 7 minutes before the train arrives, said Roberta, who had grown pale. Anxious and tense, the children waited for the train. Time seemed to stand still. And then they heard the train's whistle and the clinking of metal. It's coming, cried Peter. Peter and Phyllis stood by the railway line and began waving their red flagstaffs. Roberta, who chose to stand on the railway line, began waving frantically. The engine seemed enormous as it thundered down the railway line at great speed. The noise it made was deafening. Stop! 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 Cried Roberta, but her voice was merely a whisper. Meanwhile, the train came closer and still closer. Roberta was pale as a ghost as she waved her flags fiercely. And then, just 20 yards from her, the train stopped. Peter and Phyllis rushed to meet the driver and the fireman who had stepped down from the train. Quickly, they learned why they had been stopped. The driver and the fireman were amazed at the bravery and common sense of the children. But when they all turned to look at Roberta, she had fainted from all the excitement. The children were generously praised and were the heroes of the day. Within days, the children were honored for their courage. During the ceremony held at the railway station, the children also met their old gentleman who waved at them from the train. He greatly praised them. It was some days after this ceremony, Roberta was looking for something on her mother's table. There she found, kept among the papers, an old newspaper cutting. Father was in prison. She discovered why her father was not living at home with them anymore. He was thought of to be a Russian spy. Roberta confided about her discovery to her mother, who asked her to keep quiet about it. Roberta knew father was innocent, so after a few days she wrote to the old gentleman about her father. She also enclosed the paper cutting with her letter. After reading the letter, the old gentleman met Roberta on the railway platform. He said, I have known for some time who you children are. I have followed your father's case. I too think that he is innocent. I have been finding out things about your father. Some days later, the old gentleman came to the cottage to meet the children. While leaving, he took aside Roberta and said, My dear, wait for some time, for I have hopes. Roberta's heart was filled with warmth hearing this. From that moment on, she had an uneasy feeling that something was going to happen. And something did happen 4 days after the old gentleman's visit. That day, Roberta, Peter, and Phyllis went as usual to wave to the 9:15 train. As they waved their handkerchiefs to the train, suddenly hands holding handkerchiefs or newspapers waved back to them from each window. What was that about? Said Peter. It was unusual, remarked Phyllis. It was all due to the old gentleman. That day, however, Roberta found it hard to concentrate on her lessons, so she once again made her way to the railway station. There, to her surprise, she was enthusiastically greeted by everyone. Soon it was time for the 11:54 train to arrive. Slowly, the locomotive moved into the station. Only 3 passengers got off the train that day. Suddenly, Roberta was running, crying, "My daddy! My daddy!" For minutes, Roberta clung to a tall, lean man, her father. After some time, as she and her father walked towards the cottage, she learned that the old gentleman had proved her father's innocence, and he was released. On reaching the cottage, Roberta said, "Father, wait in the garden. I must tell mother." Minutes later was heard, "Daddy, come in!" And father went inside the house, closing the door behind him. And everybody was super happy. And here ends this story about a family who were united after a long time. Hope you guys enjoyed the story of the railway children. You know the drill. If you like it, you hit the like button. Then you share it to all your friends so everybody can listen to this lovely story. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so next time I read a story, you are right there. Okay then, until next time, bye.